Hello, welcome to another edition of Corporate Revelation. Sit back and enjoy. In the Bible, the scripture elaborates, Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20, Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Now, have you ever done this in your life? Or, have you ever had your employer sugarcoat the truth and tell you something was okay when it was not? Beware of counterfeit niceness. Look for kindness, not niceness. The Bible is very explicit on what is bad and good, and does not want people to confuse it. The Bible in this next passage talks about Jesus and refers to him by another name. This name being used to describe him in the same way that one would refer to the sky when he or she says the word heaven. Let us read and listen carefully. Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive, and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Butter and honey shall he eat, that he may know to refuse the evil, and choose the good. Butter and honey have together existed since the dawn of time. They have existed in every culture and society since ancient Arabia to modern China, and there can never be a time where one can say that butter or honey are not good. Anyone saying they are not good is not saying the truth. And the truth at all is trustworthy. So now, where is it that butter and honey are good? Are butter and honey good to our heart? No, butter and honey is not good only to our heart but also to our mouth. And primarily the mouth. Butter and honey is only good to our heart through our mouth and nothing else. Here is now, where we can get into more detail about how butter and honey are staples of culture. What is good here? Is it niceness? No, obviously the butter and honey are what is good about Jesus' upbringing. There is no case in which butter and honey are not good to Jesus and his family. There, we can see that butter and honey are good to anyone. Anything that is not good, is not butter and honey. Any man telling you that butter and honey is not good is lying to you and letting you know that he is not for the taste or the application of it in his own diet. This should not dissuade you from having butter and honey on your pancakes. Butter and honey are good, and not even the most health-conscious person can in any way say that it is not. Anyone who would tell you that butter and honey are not good would need to give you a fair explanation for their opinion. Here is where we can now get into the practice of one particular thing that the entire world seems to love and accept, which is not good to eat. Wine. Wine is loved by everyone and usually not for its taste. Wine is slightly bitter. This is because there is a certain portion of alcohol by volume in every cup of wine you would normally consume. From the most distinct to the lowest quality to the highest vintage. All wine is bitter, all champagne is bitter, all liquor is bitter, all alcohol is bitter. One would not know if they truly liked wine until it were tasted and considered and evaluated. It is not an immediate flavor that one can determine to be bad or good, but it is, however, very esteemed and loved by society. And this is for one sole reason. It gets you drunk. The fact that wine gets you drunk is the only reason why people drink it at all. Anyone who tells you otherwise is just trying to be polite. Wine is bad. It tastes sour. It is horrible. No one likes wine. No one likes the taste. People enjoy wine, and that is why people like wine at all. Do you like wine? I enjoy wine for one reason. Because the sensation that wine provides overpowers any of the bitterness of its flavor. No one likes wine, but people love its effect. It makes people warm and friendly, funny, exciting, loving, and fun. People are not normally this pleasant. People tend to be absent-minded and imperfect. We are flawed and make mistakes. We are worrisome and anxious. However, wine can make us forget this in the moment that we are such. We get bubbly, we get funny, imaginative and interesting, all because of a cup of wine. Imagine a world where you could make no mistakes. If wine is like life, then its effect on us is most definitely like heaven. Matthew chapter 26 verse 26. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread, and blessed it, and brake it, and gave it to the disciples, and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup, and gave thanks, and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. In this passage Jesus is prophesied to die shortly, and it is very clearly stated that Jesus restricts himself then on from drinking wine at all until he is with us in heaven. This makes little sense because he himself knows he will be killed soon and has no reason to deny himself a pleasure such as wine or anything similar for that matter. Of what use is it to say that you will drink no wine henceforth, if you are only going to go to the grave, where it will be impossible to taste it at all, let alone drink it? This can only mean that more likely to know not, as he is currently in heaven. He is drinking no wine. None, not even a cup. He is presently sober. The only reason for this seems to be because he would only want to enjoy the wine with his brethren after all of his labor is accomplished.
Well, you know, I'm a pleasure delayer.
How does that work?
Pleasure delay? You don't know? You keep a relationship casual until the absolute breaking point. And then one evening, or afternoon, or morning, it could be months from now.
Make sure you accomplish your labors before you drink wine. Yan. If life is indeed the bitter, if life is truly the wine in the cup that Christ has given us to drink, if the wine is the blood of Christ, if life is in his blood overall, if life is the bitter, heaven is most definitely not the sweet. It is the intoxication. Thank you. Please subscribe and follow.